Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting was advertised in the Asbury Park Press and the Beacon on January 9th, 2025, and the public hearing and adoption of the 2025-26 budget was advertised in the Asbury Park Press on May 13th, 2025, and by posting this notice on the district website, in the Forked River and Lenoka Harbor post offices, and by filing a copy of the notice with the Lacey Township Clerk as requested by the Open Public Meetings Act. Roll call, please.
Mr. Armato is absent. Mr. Peters?
Present.
Mr. Bell?
Here.
Mrs. Armato, absent. Mrs. Walker?
Here.
Mr. Conity?
Here.
And Mrs. Claus.
Here.
Okay, we're going to go into executive session. Be it resolved that an executive session be convened for the purpose of discussing confidential student matters, including but not limited to harassment, intimidation, and bullying, confidential legal matters, including but not limited to the current caseload, and confidential personnel matters. The subject matter of these discussions will be disclosed to the public when the reason for confidentiality subsides. The length of the executive session is estimated to be approximately 60 minutes, after which the board shall reconvene and proceed with business at 7 p.m. Action may be taken. Motion?
Motion Peters.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Okay, 7 o'clock. You guys ready? Yeah. Okay, we're going to resume the meeting, and we'll start with the student representatives, please.
Good evening, everyone. As always, I'm going to start us off with our news from the Student Government Association. SGA last met on May 5th. The sophomores are currently conducting their graduation lawn sign fundraiser. The juniors, they carried out a successful junior prom on May 8th and are currently organizing their Kiss a Senior Goodbye fundraiser. The seniors are planning their senior prom, which will be held on June 5th. And the executive board is currently prepping for Mr. Lacey, which is going to take place on June 3rd at 6 p.m. in the auditorium, and admission will be $5 at the door. The next SGA meeting will take place in September of 2025.
Thank you, Kayla. Now I would like to announce our unsung heroes for the month of May and June. The first being Brooke Fitzgerald. Brooke, can you come up? You could stay here for 1 second.
Nice try. Grab and run.
For the month of May, the Student Government Association of Lacey Township High School would like to recognize Brooke Fitzgerald as the unsung hero. Brooke Fitzgerald is hardworking, straight-A student who is a part of the Lacey Township High School STEM Academy and as a STEM 2 student. Outside of school hours, Brooke is actively involved in the Student Government Association as well as the Interact Club. It's because of her hard work and dedication that we have chosen Brooke as our unsung hero for the month of May. Congratulations, Brooke. Next, I would like to announce our June unsung hero, Jade Torrey. Is Jade here? For the month of June, the Student Government Association of Lacey Township High School would like to recognize Jade Torrey as the unsung hero. She is a remarkable student taking honors classes. She is always kind and isn't afraid to help out. She is a part of our girls volleyball team as well. Outside of school, she spends time volunteering at the Lacey Elks. Jade is outstanding and does her absolute best in everything she undertakes in all of her efforts. For these reasons, Jade Torrey has been selected as June Unsung's Hero. Congratulations, Jade.
Lastly, tonight we have the honor of introducing our successors, and we would like to invite them to stand now to be acknowledged. We have SGA Executive Board President Tatiana Febles Perez and the Senior Class President Cooper Mick will be taking over in September of 2025. Congratulations to you both. We are so proud of you.
Thank you.
I'd like to note too, just for a minute, that, because our new people are here, that school districts in New Jersey are mandated to have student representatives. Lacey's had student representatives for over 30 years. So thank you again for serving, and thank you for your time as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Okay, now we're going to move on to the report of the superintendent.
Okay, and I'm going to have Mr. Principal King come down and take the podium. He has a lot of presentations because we're trying to double up our seniors of the month, and we have a real special group here that he's going to talk about, and we're going to present them with some certificates as well. So Principal King.
Thank you, Mr. Zielinski, Board of Education, members in the audience. It is my pleasure to announce May's Senior of the Month. Our first Senior of the Month is Marissa Flores. Marissa, come on down. A round of applause for her family who's here as well. Applaud them. Yep.
I'm Marissa Flores, and I'm proud to be named May Senior of the Month at Lacey Township High School.
Congratulations, Marissa. You're so deserving of the honor to be Lacey Township Student of the Month. You're an absolute standout.
Here at LTHS, I'm a part of the STEM Academy. I'm SGA's Executive Board Activities Coordinator. I'm NHS's Theme Chair, and I'm also a part of Interact Club, and I'm also on the varsity women's basketball and soccer team.
Marissa's not only the captain of the women's soccer and basketball team, she's also a black belt in mixed martial arts and is one of the smartest, academically motivated, and successful students I've ever taught.
My favorite memory at LTHS was winning the state sectional title my freshman year on the soccer team.
Marissa's an incredible student. Her work ethic and desire to learn and understand is unmatched by any of her peers. She's one of Lacey's finest. Every project, every assignment, she goes beyond what is necessary, anything I could ever ask for in a student. The best part, though, she's a great person, someone who is always positive, smile on her face, and always there to help out.
Outside of school, I like to spend time with family, friends, and play sports.
Marissa, I wish you the best of luck at the University of South Carolina. I know you'll be just as successful there as you have been here at Lacey Township, and I know you'll definitely reach your goal to be in sports therapy, and I just wish you the best.
After high school, I'm attending the University of South Carolina, majoring in exercise science.
All right. Our next, congratulations, Marissa. Our next Senior of the Month is Brendan Schuler. Brendan, come on down. His family's here as well. Round of applause for them.
I'm Brendan Schuler, and I'm proud to be named May's Senior of the Month for Lacey Township High School.
All right, congratulations to Brendan Schuler on winning Senior of the Month.
I'm a member of the Lacey golf team. I'm captain of the soccer team and wrestling team at Lacey High School. I'm also a member of the STEM Academy.
So some things that set Brendan apart from the rest of his peers or other student athletes is his mindset. You know, he holds himself to a high standard academically, athletically, and he continues to push for that high standard throughout his seasons and throughout the school year.
Some of my favorite memories are probably just bonding with the teammates and all the kids I've met throughout high school and just being really chill and relaxed with all of them.
You know, Brendan Schuler's personality and character, you know, it's extremely high. Out of wrestling, you know, in the locker room, at competitions, traveling on the bus, he's a fun kid. His personality's great. He's always cracking jokes. Just happy to be around. On the mat, in the center of a circle, you know, when he shakes hands, he becomes a very dominating, aggressive wrestler, which is what you want as a coach. Outside of that, like I said, he's just a happy-go-lucky kid. Not much really bothers Brendan.
After high school, I plan on attending Stevens Institute of Technology, where I will major in mechanical engineering.
All right, Brendan, best of luck at Stevens next year. You know that we'll always be in your corner and we're always following.
Congratulations, Brandon. Our May Vocational Senior of the Month is Alicia Bird. Alicia, is she here? We'll make sure she gets her award. Congratulations to Alicia, certainly. Watch the video on Alicia.
I'm Alicia Bird, and I'm proud to be May's Vocational Senior of the Month.
Congratulations, Alicia Bird, on being named Student of the Month.
At my vocational school, we serve the community. I have the chance to be at the line in our restaurant, A Touch of Class. It's where we are able to gain our experience and we are able to serve our community. The meals are typically lower priced, so anyone can really come in, and we get, we love serving the community. We love seeing everyone come in and their faces light up when we give them the food. It's really just a great thing to be able to do.
Alicia is very committed to her work and doing well. She asks questions whenever necessary, and she is a delight to have in the classroom.
Some of my memories do come from North, but being in Lacey is really just such a unique experience. I'm really happy to be able to meet all the people that I have meet, all my friends here, all the teachers, all the staff. They're great people.
She consistently makes us laugh, and she faces every challenge with a positive attitude.
After high school, I plan to attend Ocean County College. Beyond that, I don't really know what my future plans are. I know I want to, find my own path in life, and vocational school is really just a great way to figure out where you're going to go. It's a great start. I was able to grow my roots there, but I'd like to go further and just see what I can accomplish in my life.
Good luck in OCC next year.
All right, this brings us to June Seniors of the Month. Our first senior for June is Emily Sierra. Emily, come on down. Round of applause for her family. Keep it going for them as well.
Hi, I'm Emily Sierra, and I'm proud to be June Senior of the Month at Lacey Township High School.
Congratulations, Emily, on winning Senior of the Month. It is so incredibly deserved.
At Lacey, I'm part of the STEM Academy. I'm a STEM 4 senior, and I'm also part of SGA.
Emily, the first time I met you in honors STEM chemistry was an experience that doesn't have enough words to describe. You're an amazing student, you work hard, and I've been lucky enough to have you in AP Chem. You've also been an integral part of helping out with all things student government, and we're going to miss you a lot.
My favorite memories during high school is everything that happens in STEM. It's a really close-knit group, and we just have a bunch of fun.
In AP Chemistry, you helped keep us on task, but also while having a great time. You're incredibly dynamic, you work extremely hard, your peers look up to you, and you're very respected by your teachers. Student government-wise, you've been an officer without a name, and we are gonna be really at a loss without you next year.
After high school, I'm going to the University of Tampa to study mathematics with computer science.
It's the end of the school year, and I know that you're gonna go out with a bang. Finish your classes strong, congratulations on Student of the Month, and I can't wait to hear about all the things that you do at college.
All right, congratulations, Emily. And our final senior of the month for June is Aiden Fitzgerald. Aiden, come on down. His family here is here as well. A round of applause for them.
I'm Aiden Fitzgerald, and I'm proud to be June's Senior of the Month for Lacey Township High School.
Congratulations, Aiden, on winning June Senior of the Month.
Some of the activities I participate in are men's soccer, Lacey track, spring, and NHS.
Aiden is a tremendous student athlete here at Lacey. He has been a valued member of our soccer team the past 4 years and really excels in the classroom as well.
Outside of school, I like to spend time with friends and family and exercise.
I've had the pleasure of knowing Aiden since he was probably 8 or 9 years old. It's been, really a joy to watch him grow into the tremendous young man that he is today.
Some of my favorite memories during high school were participating in the soccer games, and one moment in particular was right before the Central game. I remember in the locker room, we all got really hyped up and did really well and beat them 5-0.
And I'm looking forward to all of his future holds.
After high school, I plan to attend Rutgers University to double major in computer science and business analytics information technology.
best of luck in your future, Aiden. I know you're going to do tremendous things at Rutgers and beyond that, so congratulations again.
Congrats.
Congratulations, Aiden. All right, tonight it gives me great pleasure to announce and celebrate one other group. Tonight we have in attendance with us our jazz band. Now, our jazz band is quite unique in the fact that they certainly play, they certainly practice, more importantly, they compete. And when I say they compete, they've done that for many years. This is a year where they not only competed, they dominated, they won, they brought home hardware, trophies, awards, a banner, oddly enough, which is kind of an interesting win. And all throughout it, they've had the most fun, the most energy, and probably one of the greatest attitudes of a group of kids I've ever worked with. We've held our own jazz festival here, so I watched a lot of bands play. Our band took the stage last, and there was just something different. It was just something different about them. So tonight it gives me great pleasure to announce our band members as they come down, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what they've accomplished. So this year's jazz band includes Eric Stroing. Riley Callis. Isabella Martinez Alvarez. Sarah Rush. Ryan Conlon. Christopher Ramos Barrios. Matthew Glani. Christian Galani. Ian Brookman. Brooke McKinley. Joseph Bianco. Hayden Van Arsdale. Victoria Alvarado. Nicholas Faraji. Regan Sanguinetti. Ryan Burr. Brooke Fitzgerald. Claire Conroy. Tatiana Feebles Perez. Ryan Berry. And Miles Harris. Throughout all their competitions, throughout all their practices, they were certainly led by an amazing, amazing conductor, Mr. Chris Montague. Come on downstairs. So, why are they here this evening? The Lacey Township High School Jazz Band won the Tournament Indoor Association, TIA, which is part of the Tournament of Bands Circuit, Region 7 A-Class Jazz Band Championship on April 26, 2025. Yes. Along with the championship, the band also won the awards for Best Saxophone Section, Best Rhythm Section, while Eric Stroing was recognized and won an award for Outstanding Soloist. I mentioned a little bit about their accomplishments throughout the season. Throughout this whole year, the band has earned either gold or superior ratings, has not come in less than second place at any of the festivals they performed at. At all these shows, the band has won Best Section Awards for each of the sections at least once, while Eric Stroin and Riley Callis have been named Outstanding Soloists, and Matthew Galani and Tatiana Feebles-Perez have been recognized as Outstanding Musicians. They've had quite a season. For those who know, our school motto is a tradition of pride, a tradition of excellence. Before each competition, Mr. Montague has added a little twist to this, and they have lived out this phrase. All the festivals, he says, we take pride in what we do. We do it with excellence. We do it our way. We do it the Lacey way. And that way brought home a lot of championships this year. Congratulations, everybody. Yes, please look. Yes, they have a lot of shows on YouTube. It's an amazing to watch them and listen to them. I tell you, they'll become fans. Mr. Montague, please stand with your children. The Lacey Township Jazz Band. All right. Thank you, everyone.
Congratulations.
Nice job, ladies. Mr. Lizzie, that concludes my comment. Yep.
All right. No. Don't worry, if you have homework to do, you can go. But if you want to stay, I want the kids to stay as well to hear about what the final budget could look like next year. If you have to go out the back door. All right. We'll give them a minute. Someone will go. All right, President Claus, I'm going to make a statement, and then we'll get to the slideshow, okay? Go ahead. All right. All right. So you guys, those of you who attend regularly or watch me at home, you know, we've been through a lot in the last couple of months. Ms. Sharon Ormsby, who is over on the side here, as always, is our fabulous business administrator. Nobody bears the bigger brunt of budget than she does. We'll all throw numbers at her, especially me. She'll put them into cents. She'll work those numbers. A lot of what you see when I get to the slides are hers, and that it represents a lot of work. It represents a lot of work. We've had a lot of iterations of this budget. We're presenting this tonight on the final budget, and we'll go to vote after public comment session tonight. But I have a couple things that I want to start with tonight. So as your superintendent, I stand, and I wrote this, so just bear with me a minute. As I stand before you tonight with a deep sense of responsibility and realism, this budget, while allowing us to move forward, still falls short. Make that very clear. All right? It's not the budget I would choose. This is a compromise. It's not a solution by any means. All right? We cannot continue to cut staff and expect to maintain outcomes that we strive for. Every cut has a ripple effect. We are seeing the strain it places on our schools, our programs, and our people. This budget required an intense amount of work by the administration to find a balance between delivering a comprehensive education and staying within the constraints dictated by our current fiscal reality. All right? That said, okay, I'm very proud of the creative and student-centered decisions that we've made in the face of adversity, and we're doing this in very short time periods. For the parents concerned about academic programs, we've protected them in this budget. Through innovation and collaboration, we've preserved essential instructional offerings, maintained our STEM and honors academies, and reinstated co-curricular activities that are so valuable to our students and their families. We've also ensured that our special education students will continue to have opportunities to be included with their age-level peers. And I'll talk more about that in the slides. These are not small victories. Okay, they're the result of hard choices made with compassion and care by a lot of our principals and a lot of our district people and a lot of our supervisors. Okay, to be honest, I advocated for more funding. I want to make that very clear. I've done that, and I'll keep doing that. I've advocated for more funding from our taxpayers, and we didn't get it. We don't agree with the budget cuts or the increased class sizes, and as your chief school administrator, I feel caught between a rock and a hard place, trying to meet educational needs of our children while navigating financial constraints that don't align with those expectations. We will do everything we can to mitigate the pain of these changes, but we must recognize that the real solution lies in building a sustainable path forward. This budget does offer a roadmap, right? But we can only travel it together as a unified school community made up of staff, students, parents, and community partners. Okay, I remain hopeful that together we can continue developing long-term solutions that will protect and strengthen our district. All right, so now let's see what we have. We'll go to the slides. All right, path from tentative to final. We passed the tentative budget May 1st. Yes? Okay, and we always say, of course, the time is usually not this tight. There's usually a lot of work to be done between tentative and final. There are changes to be made. Okay, this was no exception. It was just in a very short period of time. Okay, and again, we'll post these. We always do. All right. One of the things that we did, one of the things that we do is we work very closely with our county executive business. Yep, our county executive business official. She worked hard with us, trying to make us not use our savings account, which is what free balance is. She is allowing us, and we agree that it is a much more certain possibility than the larger land sale that we had in the beginning, that we will sell some of our excess property. That modest sale in the amount of $400,000 now appears in the budget. We had some reductions to also make up for that $578,000. Okay, we cut another administrator. We cut the assistant superintendent position out of the budget. Okay, if you're following, I've been doing both positions. I did it this year, and I might continue to do it next year as well. So we've removed that. There's a correction to certain salaries that had to be made, and then there's a tuition correction. There's a crossing guard contract that we had to fulfill. So it's just truing up the tentative to the final budget, but this is also part of the final budget presentation. Okay? Anything I left out? Ms. Ormsby. Thank you. All right, you've seen this slide before. The most notable thing in this slide is that despite all the increases that we're all experiencing in our lives, our budget in total is only 1.8% more than last year's. Did I say that right? In total, I'll say it again, is only 1.8% higher than last year's. Okay, and you'll see why in a minute. The outstanding debt, of course, continues to decline for our debt service. That is as a result of the failed referendum. We are retiring debt, continue to retire debt over time, but we also have other needs. Okay, the property tax levy, we talked about this at the tentative. This is largely unchanged. It's the 7.57% would be the net percent increase on the tax levy. Okay, that is unchanged from the tentative. All right, so these numbers have been, I guess some of these numbers have been tweaked as well. No, these are the same. This is the same slide as last time. That's right. Okay. We talk about all the revenues. The land sale was put in there. We took out using our free balance monies. Adjusted it for not budgeting for another administrator, and so on and so on. Again, it's the same number in the bottom right-hand corner, that 1.8%. after you add and subtract all those big numbers in there. Okay, and we've talked about it before, the 3.15% statutory tax levy, the categorical state aid, which was capped by the state of New Jersey at 6%. Our extraordinary aid went up by about the same amount. Then we had a lot of zeros because we did not have that money anymore. That was exhausted last year. The land sale is put in there. If you're asking, it's not up for sale yet. We're still waiting on a survey. We're waiting on some deeds that we have to put together. But we'll talk about that more in later board meetings. The property tax application, that would be the incentive application that we voted for and applied for at the last meeting that we had on May 1st. That will allow us another bit of state aid, that $135,000. There's some miscellaneous revenues. The grants and entitlements are up. And then the debt service aid, which is actually way down because we don't have that much debt anymore because we did not take on any new debt. Okay, then the totals, and then you work your way across back to that 1.8%. All right, what does this mean though? Because it's not going to come without change. Okay, there's lots of money that's come out of my originally proposed budget, which I proposed back in probably early February or so. All right, February, March, somewhere in there. Thank you. All right, this will force us to restructure the elementary buildings. Mill Pond School will be pre-K and pre-K disabled. The Cedar Creek School will be kindergarten and first aid. Forked River School will be second and third grades. The Lenoka Harbor School will be fourth and fifth grades. This is otherwise known as grade banding. You might hear that out there. There are many schools that do it. There are many schools that did it the way we did it in the past. So you'll see, both things out there if you want to look around to other districts. We have talked about grade banding. I'll show you some benefits in a minute. This is necessitated by putting the kids in one place, which will allow us to spread the class size loads out and will allow us to use less teachers. Okay, yes, it will have increased class sizes. Most importantly, doing it this way, and again, the term that's used is that I'm flying the plane and I'm building it at the same time. Because of the short time frames, a lot of this has been built in the last couple of days, in the last couple of weeks. So some people might have heard one thing or heard another thing. This is through lots of meetings this week, this is what we've developed. It's about space, it's about staffing, it's about where to go. But our special education students will be with their grade level peers. So you'll have special education programs that are age appropriate in every elementary building. So kindergartners will be with kindergartners, second graders will be second graders, fifth graders with fifth graders, and so on and so on. Okay, that's a pretty critical piece of the special education puzzle. Okay, the buildings are going to be tight. Okay, there's a lot of space used. It can be used a little bit differently, but this is the plan. All right, so that's the elementary changes. I wanted to put this in there because in a normal world where we're not cut all this state funding in the last 8 years, this is something that we've discussed many a time about grade banding. There are benefits to grade banding. Okay, think of it this way. You're now putting all of your second grade teachers in one place. They collaborate, they plan, they work together, they share kids, they share all sorts of different things. You're not spread out, even though I know we're only spread out by like a mile or two. It could feel like night and day in different buildings. Okay, the kindergarten this year, I guess last year as well, being at Mill Pond School, proved our point. They're doing excellent. They do excellent together, they work together, they plan together, they prep together, they do a lot of different things together, and they'll move off together as one class to the Cedar Creek School next year. Streamlines their transitions, there's an efficient use of resources, they all share everything. I don't have to worry about 3 different buildings and having different resources in different places. It will allow us to maintain 5th grade honors opportunities, specifically our math program, because it'll be in one place. It will allow us to maintain our band program in 5th grade, because they'll be in one place. It's allowing some efficiencies there where I don't have to cut those positions to make the budget work. Okay, so that's a lot of the grade banding. Of course, preserve the elementary club activities as well, which we do feel are very important. All right? High school and middle school, I took a slightly different tact building this. I built it more on what the staff cuts are going to leave in place, which is most everything. It's going to up our class sizes, but we're going to maintain the programs that we find all valuable. Our OCC Academy, our Leadership Academy, our STEM Academy, our all AP classes, our accelerated math programs at middle school, high school, honors math program, honors ELA program at the middle school, our STEM program at the middle school. I don't know if it is on there. I put LTHS and LTMS. Okay, don't panic. Most sports and co-curricular, we evaluate sports and co-curricular every year. Okay, if sports and clubs aren't attended or cost us too much money, we have every year said that we can't maintain those programs, but don't panic. We do that very scientifically over the summer. Okay, so don't panic when I have most. Okay, it will be most. All right, so that's high school and middle school. And here is the painful slide. Okay, this is what has to be done to make the budget work. It's 27 teachers, where my original budget was 3. Okay, just want to always note that in 8 years, 173 certificated positions have been cut from the Lacey budget. 173. Right, 2 administrators this year, an elementary supervisor and an assistant superintendent. Okay, the elementary supervisors will be shared among buildings. Okay, they'll be all curricular all the time among all the buildings, K to 5, to make sure that we're doing the right thing there. The other cuts had already existed in some previous iterations. They were a little bit different. The grounds workers were not in the original. So custodial, paraprofessionals, grounds workers, and of course, there is no budgeted monies for raises in this current budget, in this current iteration for LTA, non-aligned, and the Child Study Team associations. Operational cuts. Okay, courtesy busing in the walking zone, okay, will be eliminated. Okay, not for Forked River School. Forked River is on a hazardous route. Okay, so even if you live in the walking zone, you will get a bus K to 5. Well, Forked River School will be 2 and 3. So 2nd and 3rd graders will still be bused, even if you live in the walking zone, because of where Forked River School is. But make no mistake, pre-K to 5 for Lenoka Harbor School, Mill Pond School, and Cedar Creek School in the walking zone, everybody walks. Okay, that has to go. Okay, we can't do it, can't keep doing that for the courtesy busing. Okay, we're going to delay bus replacements. We're going to deal with our old buses. We'll keep fixing them. We have very talented mechanics, although they will get frustrated at some point. And then, of course, I already talked about the sale of some of our district property. Okay, don't want to specifically go into that yet. Okay, we're getting a survey done now to see what we can sell, how we can sell it, what's valuable, what's not valuable, because that has to be done as well to balance this budget. All right, your average class sizes, we talked about this at the last meeting. Like I said in my opening statement, not what I want, okay, but it's what needs to happen. All right, those are average sizes. Okay, you will see some smaller, some bigger. In the grade banding, it allows us, if we ever get teachers back into the mix, when we grade band, you add 1 teacher in, it mitigates everybody's class size. So there are some advantages to that. Okay, if our budgets ever right themselves, we're able to add teachers back into the fold. Okay, so the elementary grade banding. Okay, ultimately, we are sort of grade banded at the middle school and the high school just by design. Okay, instructional materials will not be replaced. We still have outdated middle school and high school math. And then our reading textbooks, grades K to 8, that actually should read, okay, are outdated. And we won't be able to purchase close readers this year for grades 6 to 8 because it's just not there, and they're very expensive. All right, this is the slide that I presented the last time. It's the same, has not changed, correct, Ms. Ormsby? Okay, the average home in Lacey is assessed at $288,906 this year. Okay, and their monthly tax increase and their total school tax and tax increase from 24-25, and then so on. That's correct, right? 7.57, yep. All right, and I'll put this up on the website. Okay?
Perfect,
All
thank you.
right, there we go.
Do any board members
Thank you
have
for
any
your attention.
questions?
Will,
No.
can I just ask one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Can you pull
Board,
up the
board
slide
questions.
with the realignment one more time for me?
Sure.
Please.
Sure can. It takes a second. Bear with me. If I go too fast, I'll mess it up. This one, I'm sorry. This one?
Yes.
Linda?
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Walker?
Just give me 1 minute.
Did I give it to you in paper? No?
I don't have
Oh,
one. No,
I'll give you.
thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other board member have a question for Mr. Zelinski?
No.
No? Okay.
Good.
Okay, I think we're
All
good.
right.
Thank you.
So Lytle, you'll take care of this?
You're going to do the
Thank you.
HIB report up there or down here?
What's that?
HIB report? Up there or down here?
It's in front of you there.
Okay.
I'll go there for HIB report. Okay, so twice a year, we do a HIB report. It's a self-assessment from our buildings. I have to report it publicly. We will post the results of our self-assessment for HIB grades, harassment, intimidation, and bullying. For over a decade now, New Jersey has legislated how school districts handle harassment, intimidation, and bullying. It's very complicated, believe it or not. I know you can believe that. It's the state of New Jersey. And we then look at how we've done. We grade ourselves. The principals grade themselves. It's on several criteria. The maximum grade that they can get is a 78. I don't know why it's a 78. And then every building, I'll give you their score on their self-assessment. The detailed breakdown of this is on our website. It'll be front and center after this meeting, probably tomorrow into Monday. You'll be able to look it up. If you're interested, it'll have some descriptors in there. But I'm just going to report out what each building scored according to their self-assessment. So the Cedar Creek School was a 74 out of 78. The Forked River Elementary School was again a 74 out of 78. The high school, 74 out of 78. Middle school, 74 out of 78. Lenoka Harbor, I'm sorry, I'm reading the district score. The Lenoka Harbor, 73 out of 78, and Mill Pond, 73 out of 78. Okay? That's it. You can look it up on our website. We'll have it there. It'll have a more detailed description. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
President Claus.
All right.
That does conclude my report.
Okay. All right, now we're going to move on to public comment. An audience member wishing to make a comment will raise his or her hand, and when called upon, state their name, address, or affiliation, and intention to make a statement. Comments will be addressed to the board president. Comments will be made on one issue at a time. Comments will be limited to 5 minutes. No audience member shall be recognized twice until all have wished to comment have been recognized. This portion of the meeting is for public comments only, and there will be no questions answered. The purpose of this board meeting is to perform our business in public. Everyone is entitled to a public comment. If there's a question for the board, there's an established chain of command to follow. Would anybody like to have a public comment? Go ahead. You got to go to the podium if you don't mind. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I know you have a tough job coming up for the next couple months, but my name is Sean Mick. I live at 806 Harbor Road. I think Mr. Zelinski may have answered my question, but recently I've been going on a lot of tours of colleges, and I noticed that they are putting a lot of the AP classes.
Yes.
They're stressing that that's what they're really looking for at these administrations, for these admissions. They're even getting away from the standard tests. And I just want to make sure I have your assurance that the current AP curriculum that we have is not going to be diminished.
The budget passes, yes.
Okay, if you could pass it.
Yep.
Okay, because it's very important for our future students. I mean, my kids have been through the system already. But you're not going to get into a real good university if you don't have these AP classes. And if we don't have these AP classes, we're basically pulling the rug out from under these kids. I mean, they're stressing this when you go to these UCLA or these big universities. You know, regular honors classes, they don't care. They want to see AP. And it's very, very important that we keep them. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean. Would anybody else like to have a public comment? Go ahead.
Good evening. My name is Brandon Hurley. I'm at 219 Lenape Trail. First, I just want to say I'm happy to see a lot of people here. This is my first attendance to the school board. and I know it's a hard job for all of you. So for me, to make this easier for me, I'd like to just read from the thoughts I jot down. There's no questions, anything like that. It's just a statement, and it'll be easier for me. All right, so good evening, members of the school board. My name is Brandon Hurley. I'm a resident of Lacey Township. I serve my community as a federal law enforcement officer, but more importantly, and most relevant to this evening, I am the father of 2 children that are enrolled in this district, one of whom is currently a part of the autism program at Cedar Creek. I'm here tonight to voice serious concerns about the district's decision to realign the schools. While I understand the intent is to improve operational and budgetary efficiency, I fear this move may unintentionally compromise the safety and services, educational integrity our special education students currently receive. I know that none of you joined this board hoping you'd have to be forced to make decisions about raising taxes, cutting programs, or eliminating teaching jobs. None of you came here wanting to deny any child or family the accommodations and support they need. But here we are. These are the options that were presented, and this is the decision that has been made. But I urge you to take pause and truly consider what this decision means for the most vulnerable students in our district. I kindly remind you that under the Federal Individuals with Disabilities Education Act of New Jersey's Administrative Code 6 Alpha 14, every student with an IEP is entitled to a free, appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. This includes the mandated services, supports, and safety accommodations outlined in each child's individualized plan. You are not only morally responsible, you are legally obligated to provide these services consistently without disruption, regardless of building changes. I just want to implement the fact that Superintendent Zielinski pointed out that Forked River School is on a really heavy road, which the concern is fencing for elopement risks. So keep that in mind as I continue. You cannot separate a child from the services outlined in their IEP without triggering legal noncompliance. If a school is not equipped to meet the IEP of one child on day one, then that child's rights and your legal obligations are already being violated. Cedar Creek has been more than a school for us. It's been a secure environment and a safe haven, specifically tailored for the students with autism and special needs. The district wisely invested in safety upgrades, secure classrooms, fencing around playgrounds, controlled access points, sensory regulation rooms, and a separate gym away from general population for those kids that needed it. Families, including mine, have moved to this township because of its autism program and the manner in which you ran it. We have worked with countless BCBAs, therapists, and behavioral pediatricians that all prompted us to live in Lacey if we wanted the best support and opportunities for our son. However, I fear if they knew then what this program may become, they may have had a few reservations. With the decision of restructuring our schools, children in 2nd through 5th grades will be relocated to schools that do not currently offer all the same things that Cedar Creek has to offer. How is this acceptable to expect that these children should now go without the supports that were promised and proven to help them? The original expectation of attending Cedar Creek was that our children would experience continuity. Same teacher, possibly same paraprofessionals, and most importantly, same support environment. For children with autism, consistency is not just helpful, it's critical. Change in routine is one of the most difficult challenges they face, often leading to regression, anxiety, and behavioral setbacks. What this decision does is ask these students to endure yet another transition, uprooting them once, then again before middle school, and if they're transitioning in kindergarten next year, 3 times total. We're not just talking about shuffling buildings, we're talking about fundamentally disrupting the progress and stability of some of our most vulnerable learners. How can this be considered conducive to achieving the best possible outcomes for special education students? Grade banding will place autistic students into schools that lack these protections. This opens the door to serious safety issues, especially concerning elopement, which is a common and very real risk among children with autism. Improper fencing, poorly secured areas can lead to catastrophic outcomes, and these risks cannot be minimized. I'm almost done, I promise.
That's your time, sorry.
You can come back up when everybody else is finished.
Okay, yeah, I only have about a minute left, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right, thank you.
Do you want to Go ahead, you can go with your hand raised. Sure. Yep, come on down.
Very short. Debbie Gubernat-Smith, Forked River, Jersey. On a quick side note of the restructuring, I do think something that you guys are not thinking about is that there's families that have multiple children. When you have a child in a school, that child gets roots in that school. The family gets roots in the school. The parents become involved. The entire school becomes a family. And you have separate elementary schools that are truly like families. So not only are you disbanding the grades, you're disbanding these families, both at home. So now parents, instead of putting the resources into, say, Lenoka Harbor School, where all their children are going to go through, you're not getting the same volunteerism at all of the different schools. You're not getting that community feel. You're not getting locked into those schools. And it's really destroying the relationships that these teachers have worked so hard for all of these years in these elementary schools. And that is a feeling that is across every school. Not only that, first graders learn from fifth graders. Fifth graders learn from first graders. Every single grade, just like a home where older siblings teach their younger siblings and younger siblings model them, you have the same at an elementary level. So you are robbing the kids of that. But on my other note, just so we're clear, the tax increase will fix absolutely nothing. At this point,
Can you guys please let her finish?
At this point, it is nothing more than a Band-Aid on a hemorrhage. You are trying to bail out the Titanic with a 5-gallon bucket. We will be in the exact same position next year. And to be clear again, you have known that these cuts were coming for the past 8 years. You made it seem last year that if we raised the taxes by 9.9%, we would be saved. And now you're acting like a 7+% increase will really save us. If we cared about our kids, we would go along with it. Stop acting like this tax increase will be our saving grace. This increase will do absolutely nothing but keep our doors open and our lights on for another year. We will still have a failing system, our district will still be in shambles, and we will be in the same position next year where you will be dangling sports, activities, and class sizes over our heads to wreak havoc and get the parents in such an uproar that we are willing to concede to another massive tax hike. None of you seem interested in making this district better. You are trying to get by another year. There are no more years left. There are no more roads to kick the can down. We have bent as far as we can. We are barely squeaking by with a bare-bones school system. You are not thinking about the future of this district. I find it kind of funny that the state just happened to give us another chance to present a balanced budget, even though we missed the deadline. The state doesn't care what we have to do to the taxpayers to balance the budget. The more you stick it to the taxpayers, the less they have to be accountable for. You are so worried about upholding your legal obligation to present a balanced budget, but the state has not upheld their end to help provide our children with a quality education. If it is truly all caused by inequitable distributions of funding on the part of the state, then I implore you to stand up to the state and send them a clear message that they are destroying the education of our K through 12 kids. We have to stop rolling over and fight for the education of our children. If the state can flood districts with money for pre-K programs, then they can realize that our K through 12 kids are suffering and come up with funding for them. The district is an absolute mess. No one wants to apply to this district even if there's an opening. Why would anyone take a job knowing that you're going to be rifted next year when the budget can't be met? Phenomenal teachers are leaving this district to work elsewhere. Teachers that are the shining light in this district are moving to be that shining light elsewhere. We have nothing to offer them anymore. A large amount of teachers stay here simply because their children go here, but kids are leaving in the droves also. And a lot of them are the kids that make this district great. The things that are offered to students shrink each and every single year. The truth is, Lacey Township School District doesn't offer a lot anymore, and it's getting worse with every passing year. The bottom line is, either you knew about this and decided to stick your head in the sand every year with a plan to throw it all on the backs of the taxpayers, or it truly is the state. If you truly think that you have exhausted every possibility, eliminated everything possibly you can from the budget without sacrificing our students and our staff, trimmed every bit of fat out of every single line item, then fight the state. Fight for our children, fight for their education, fight for the taxpayers, and fight for your staff. If raising taxes just to be in the same exact position again next year is your answer, then you're certainly not doing what you set out to do when you decided to sit on the board or take a job as an administrator. Thank you.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Is her name Debbie? Excuse me, Debbie. Debbie, I'd like to address a couple comments that you made. Just so you know, we were, I'll say, evaluated by the state this year. So no, we did not know last year with the new funding formula. The new funding formula is showing that we are 29% underfunded by the taxpayer. So that is new news to us this year. So our taxes, most likely, unless something changes next year with our governor, we will probably be in this position again. That's no fault of the board. It's no fault of a parent. We're doing the best we can. So that is new. This is new this year. We did present a budget to everyone that was 14%. And we had a lot of people come out, please don't raise my taxes, don't raise my taxes. So we listened and we cut it to 7%. Now we're hearing, oh, we're grade banding. Well, this is what the compromise is because we heard from the taxpayers. We could easily change this in one foul swoop by having another motion tonight and say, let's be done with this so we can move on, keep the teachers, not do grade banding. Hold on. It would be 29% if we don't want to sit here next year. Honestly, you say that, but it's too much, guys. It's too much. So, hold on. Guys, this isn't a debate. I'm sorry. I'm speaking to Debbie.
Yeah,
Debbie.
The board president has the floor. If
Yeah.
anybody else has a public
You
comment, they
come
can
up.
have their 5 minutes
But
too.
we have been here for months, and we've been hearing all sides. We've been hearing the taxpayers that can't afford their taxes to be raised. We're hearing from parents that want to keep their clubs and sports. We're trying to accommodate everybody, and unfortunately, this is where we are. This is no fault of anybody up here. We did not know that we were going to get, excuse me, let me finish. No, excuse me.
I'm sorry, the board president has the floor.
Listen, we did not know that the new funding formula would be 29%. We did not know that. That's what we were told this year. So we're doing the best we can. We cannot accommodate everybody. It's just where everybody's taking a cut. It's unfortunate. We lost 73 teachers since this whole thing started. It's enough. We've had enough. Just like you guys, we've had enough. We're cutting everywhere. Nobody's happy.
I think I need to make a point as well. You know, this board is rightly concerned about meeting their legal obligations
Yes.
to attempt to pass a tentative budget, hold the public hearing, pass a final budget, and rightly so. You know, raise your hand if there's anybody else in this room that has a JD. You know, do you think that's there are a couple. Do you think it's a good lawsuit to press if the fact pattern was this board was put with one option to raise taxes by 14% and make up the gap in one fell swoop, the vote went down, and that was it? Or do you think it's a better fact pattern if we come back to the drawing board, propose an interim option? You know, maybe it'll have the votes, maybe it won't. But you're not one of the Abbott districts. That means you don't have, you know, a 40, 50-year history of litigation in the Supreme Court showing that you have a constitutional deprivation of T&E. I wish the law was different. I wish the state aid formula was different. I wish everybody was given state aid with a, you know, with a uniform hand, with a fair hand. Everybody has their opinions about the funding formula. But, you know, you don't plunge forward into litigation if you don't think you have a very good case. And one of the things that you do to solidify your case is attempt to show substantial compliance, or compliance, and if you can't quite get to compliance, substantial compliance with the statutory obligations. Otherwise, your lawsuit's likely to get thrown out the second you file it. So believe me, if you guys want to fight the state over the amount of state aid you're getting, that's likely to be an uphill battle. But it depends on what the county office and the Department of Education does to your budget if this budget is voted down. So we want to have as many options as we can. We also want everybody to understand, anybody who's watching, not just the people here that are attending the meetings and the people here who are directly affected. You know, when we go through this exercise, and I don't believe it's a futile exercise at all. You might come away with a balanced budget. That's the collective judgment of your elected representatives, so be it. But if it's not, so be it. But we want to leave ourselves the options that we might have available to reassess. If this budget goes down and the county office does something different, we'll take a look at what they do and decide what we're going to do. But I don't want you guys to be under the impression that, you're just going to charge forward and be able to show a constitutional deprivation of T&E when the board never did the legwork to actually attempt to balance it. Now they have several weeks of very, very difficult work, and in the process, we've all seen the actual scope and the depth of the difficulty of the decisions that these volunteers are being asked to make. And the gentleman's point, the first speaker, was very well taken. None of you would want to be in their position with a lack of tax levy funding, a lack of state aid, massive cuts to your programs, not just this year, but years prior, and have to make these difficult choices between extracurriculars and courtesy busing, more RIF staff. Oh, now we're going to take away the increase for the teachers' negotiations. We all get it. But just keep in mind, there's no good options for this board, and we're trying to show substantial compliance with the obligations, as we should. I want to point that
Yeah,
out.
and if this fails tonight, we're in the state's hands. So we don't know if we're going to get knocked down to the 3%, if they're going to do 14, 7, 29.
Right.
So I just want to make that clear to everybody. I know everybody's fighting for their own purpose, but that's the reality, that it won't be up to us anymore. It'll be up to the state. So we could be back at square one, okay? All right, let's move on. Go ahead, you can go.
Ms. Klaus,
You just had. Can you state your name and address?
Oh, yes,
please?
I'm sorry. Morgan, Forked River, New Jersey. I have 3 children. One graduated last year. One is in middle school. One is at Cedar Creek Elementary. You had answered Debbie's question, I believe. When I heard Mr. Zielinski speaking about courtesy busing, that would no longer be, I saw Forked River School, Lacey Road. I'm hoping you can answer this since you just chose to answer Debbie. What is that? Like Lacey Road, there's none across the board?
All of Forked River School will be bused, even if you're within the courtesy
Okay,
bus.
so what I'm asking is, for the children that live over in the Barnegat Pine section that have to cross Lacey Road?
They would be bused. They would be bused. So Lacey Road, Route 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We're just trying to get clarification.
Well, thank
on
you
what
for that.
streets.
But I can't even say thank you for that, because I'm saying thank you because I live on one side where, my other best friend or my family members who live on the other, all of a sudden they don't get courtesy busing. I don't understand how you can call it courtesy busing to get our children to school.
It's actually a law.
With our tax dollars, I'm saying,
Yeah. No, it's the law within 2 miles. We don't
Okay.
have to provide it at all. Most districts don't anymore, just so you
Okay.
know. The county BA, that's the first thing they say to cut. So,
Okay, I mean, that's good,
Yeah.
because I don't have to go home and tell my baby that he also, because, people work. And I understand that, and I know this, this shouldn't all fall on you guys, but you guys all took this position, so it does, it falls all on you. I have so much to say, and I only have 5 minutes, and I've never usually wanted to use all my time, but tonight I do. I look at this as like top of the pyramid type thing, and I hear all these cuts that are being made, and I understand, you're like, Mr. Zielinski, now here comes the hard part. But how does it affect the top of the pyramid? What's the hard part for them? Because in my opinion, the only people that are hurting and suffering are the middle class, are the hardworking families, the senior citizens that are already hoping they're not going to have to eat cat food in 5 friggin' years because of what's happening alone with what's happening with Lacey. I feel like this is more like when you made that comment and you said to her, well, I'm just ready to say 27%. All
I
I
didn't say
hear,
I'm just ready. I'm saying we are 29%
Right.
underfunded, and we can.
and then these poor people are going, do it.
Well,
It's
we're
like
not going to do. I mean,
control freaks is what I think. Like, why should a panel have all the control for all the town? It's ridiculous to me. The mighty dollar once forced masks on our children's faces. The mighty dollar. There were dollar signs put on all of our kids' faces. Now, the day that happened and family members of mine were almost arrested and charges pressed against them, I knew then and then alone that I didn't trust none of y'all, okay? So that was that. But now I'm sitting here and I'm wondering, How are we even going to do this? Like, I'm so thankful that one of my kids graduated. Middle school is such a hot mess. Now we have to separate Cedar Creek. I mean, I understand you guys have a budget, but again, where are the high up? Where are the overpaids feeling the burden? Where are the overpaids feeling the crunch? Because it's only us that are. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Kelly Brenner, and I'm from Forked River. I have one student in the system, and another is joining kindergarten next year. Overcrowded classrooms aren't just an academic challenge, they're a safety crisis waiting to happen. The proposed banning of grades in the district with the high teacher-to-student ratio poses multiple problems. The consequences of overcrowded classrooms will be severe. Students will continue through the Lacey school system to learn in environments that prioritize quantity of students over quality of learning, and their individual needs are sacrificed for the sake of efficiency and budget. Teachers play a vital role in introducing students to innovative subjects and cutting-edge ideas, sparking curiosity and fostering intellectual growth. They need to be available to provide individualized attention and support to their students who need it, and this is virtually impossible to help all of those students with the extra help with that many students in the room. Teachers are forced to prioritize classroom management over instructional quality. Teachers are stretched thin. The ideal classroom sizes are between 18 to 22 students, and we are tasking them with up to 35, which is extremely challenging to provide a safe and supportive learning environment. The overcrowding in our classrooms and high teacher-to-student ratios have created the perfect storm of safety concerns that are putting our student and our staff at risk. Overcrowded classrooms also pose a significant risk to student health and well-being. When too many students are packed into a small space, the likelihood of germ transmission increases, leading to absenteeism, decreased academic performance, and a higher risk of outbreak. Keep in mind that it was not too long ago that we were mandated to strictly enforce social distancing, which would be impossible with the classroom size that is imposed. Most critically, the well-being and safety of our students will be compromised, potentially leading to an avoidable harm. Young children require close supervision and guidance, which is compromised when classrooms are overcrowded. Students who are just beginning to learn about safety procedures are more vulnerable in overcrowded classrooms. In an emergency, a teacher's ability to account for every student and ensure their safe evacuation is severely compromised. With too many students in a small space, evacuation procedures become increasingly difficult, and the potential for panic and chaos rises. What happens if even 3 students in the classroom are injured or simply unable to follow the plan because of them being simply scared? In a crisis situation, every second counts, and overcrowding can mean the difference between safety and disaster. We as a school district and as a community have to come together to create a long-term solution. With all of the new homes being built around Lacey, there will only be more and more students enrolled in this already troubled school system. This is not a problem that will resolve itself. Our collective efforts should focus on establishing a long-term, supportive learning environment that will prioritize the student's safety and academic excellence. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. My name is Margaret Statura. I'm a resident of Lenoka Harbor, and my son is currently enrolled in Cedar Creek, and I have a daughter in the preschool program at Mill Pond. So I'm just going to read right off what I wrote. My name is Margaret Statura. I'm speaking tonight as a parent, an advocate, and someone deeply concerned about the direction Lacey Township School District is heading. My son is part of the autism program at Cedar Creek, but spends a majority of his day in a mainstream class. The proposed grade banding plan is more than just a structural shift. It has serious long-term consequences for our children, especially those with disabilities. My son and many others like him are being directly impacted by a plan that will disrupt their education, their support systems, and their sense of stability simply because they have autism. Moving autistic students from one school to another every few years under this grade banding model is not inclusive. It separates them from peers they've grown with, the teachers who understand them, and the environments where they feel safe. For children who depend on routine, structure, and familiarity, this type of constant transition is not just difficult, it is harmful. Let's be clear, this is not inclusion, it's not equity, and it's not legal. Under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, students are guaranteed a free and appropriate public education in the least restrictive environment. Grade banding that results in our autistic children being uprooted and shuffled across schools directly undermines that right. It places the burden of change disproportionately on students with disabilities, and that is discriminatory. If the board chooses to proceed, you risk more than backlash. You risk legal consequences. Parents will not stay silent while their children's rights are being ignored. And when lawsuits arise, and they will, the cost of legal fees and out-of-district placements will far exceed the cost of getting this right from the start. More importantly, what message does this send to our children when we prioritize convenience or budget over their well-being? Inclusion is not just about protecting autistic students, it benefits every student. Neurotypical children learn empathy, flexibility, and respect when they share classrooms with students of all abilities. That's the kind of environment we should all be building, a school community where every child is supported and belongs. Please reconsider the impact of grade banding, not just in theory, but in real life where our kids live, learn, and grow. Our children deserve better, and we as a community must demand better from the school district. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to have a public comment? Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Chris Barker. I live at 560 Lake Barnegat Drive. I want to thank the Board of Ed members for volunteering your time and considering all the opinions the state has put before you. As a parent of 3 young children, I just want to say that the proposed cuts to busing are unimaginably difficult to plan for. Additionally, as a parent of children who play multiple sports, I want to ask you to please reconsider altering the athletic offerings before making more cuts to the classroom. My 6-year-old has 29 classmates in first grade. It is not fair to him or to his teacher. I can't imagine class sizes growing anymore, and I hope you can find an alternate plan, perhaps at the expense of athletics and clubs, to maintain educational opportunities. I myself was a varsity athlete. I value athletics, and my daughter loves the music program at Lenoka Harper School, but this is a school district first, and I ask that you consider modifying extracurricular activities before making any more of my children's classes larger. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak? Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Denise in Forkett River. I'm obviously been here a couple months listening to everyone and trying to communicate with you guys, even though there's not really too much communication sometimes. But everyone has the same concern. We're saying this over and over, and I don't know what we have to do to physically, mentally, financially say that we're all hurting in one way or another, whether it be the student or the teacher or that child or the seniors. We're having budget issues, tax issues, busing issues, and everything. This is not acceptable. You guys are here to help us, okay? We just got hit with that 9% tax a couple months ago. Nobody knows what the state's gonna do. But you guys are our backbones, and you have to stand up for us. It's just like the parents are standing up for their children. You guys were relying on you. Now we need to know what's going to happen, of course, soon, how much we're going to get hit with, and how we're going to deal with that. School busing, or the teachers, or letting them go, or the class size. And then we're going to be back again with this issue again. There was a lot of suggestions, and I've been here for months listening. I don't know how much you really listened or you learned, but some people have some great ideas and suggestions. We're all not, perfect here, but I would listen to Mrs. Smith or Joe Blow or Mr. Bignick. They've done their homework. They've done some digging, let's put it that way, okay? We are human beings. We are going through so much in this town. The school should be backing us up. We should be backing them up. You should be backing us up. Don't back down from the state. Right now, we have I'm sorry, I'll say it, we have a governor that, I don't know me.
Thank you. Somebody's finally saying governor.
I'm
Because everybody thinks that it's us up here.
No.
And
All right.
nobody, I'm sorry to take your time.
No,
but
no,
I'm
no,
just-
go ahead.
I gotta go off here.
cut the time.
This
No, no,
damn governor
Guys.
has destroyed this district and this town. And we need to stand up to him.
Yes.
Okay? And come November, it's gonna make the difference.
Absolutely,
It's gonna make a difference.
absolutely. All
Skip.
right, I can
Skip,
say it, I can say it, I have free speech, I
I'm
don't
sorry.
care.
I'm
No,
sorry.
you don't have to be sorry.
I'm so pissed off.
Listen, I'm trying to get to the governors, I'm trying to get to the senators, I'm trying to speak to each and every one of you as human beings saying, listen, okay, my issue is the seniors. There's a lot of seniors who don't want to come up here, a lot of seniors who cannot afford it. If you only make so much money a month, how are you going to live? How are you going to do this? I don't know. Do any of you guys have extra money or extra cash that I can take a bag full of food to a senior? Let me know. I'll take it. I'll make sure they sign it and tell you. We just have, listen, there's just so much going on here, so much heartache, so much pulling apart. Physically, mentally, financially, we just need to do something. Senator, I think it's Tessa, he was saying that it's unconstitutional and that he is investigating this. I don't know how true it is. I'm like everybody else, trying to listen to the, this one and that one and who's doing what and who's not doing what. I went to Senator Amato myself. I spoke to him and I said, Lacey needs our help. I get on the phone. I talk to people. I go out and look because we're all in this together. I don't have children, but guess what? 60% of my taxes go to children. So why am I not caring about that? That's irrelevant. That's doesn't make any sense to me why somebody would come up to me and say, oh, you don't have any children, so you don't care. Are you kidding me? I probably care more because I think I don't know if they're still here, but my friends were here with one of their students today who got an award. I thought that was the best thing in the world. I thought it was so great. I got to see that. And I've been here a couple times with you guys when you did awards for these kids. And I think that's awesome what you're doing. It's really hard to be a kid nowadays. It really, really is. And I hate to say it, you're going to learn a lot from this, but you see parents pulling at each other. You see parents fighting with the board. They don't teach you that. They don't teach you to do things like that. They teach you to fight for yourself and stand up for what's right. And I think every one of us have a right to say, and for you guys to really listen, and I pray, I still pray for you. That's all right, I got cut off for 2 minutes, so don't go there.
Stop the clock, though.
But that's okay, I'm just about
Thank
done.
you.
I just want to say, I am praying that we all do the right thing, and we all think about what we're doing, and look at all the facts and all the things, and we have to get going on what we're going to do for next year, too.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. You guys are raising my blood pressure like crazy, and I can't do it anymore.
Thank you. Just so you guys know, we have spoken to Senator Amato, Rumpf, and Meyer. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago, maybe? About a week and a half ago. There possibly is a bill out there that might move. Right now, it's kind of sitting. But since we were capped at that 6%, we were entitled to get more money. We were supposed to get another 1.6 million. So if that moves forward, then that would help possibly with staff or the curriculum that we had to put off this year. But we only have two sources of income, and that's state aid and our taxes. So, at the end of the day, we have to pay the bills. So, I know everyone, doesn't want their tax raises, yet they want the services that we're taking away, the staff that we're taking away. The budget has to balance. So, you know, as much as we want to keep the busing, we want to keep the extra staff, this is the only way to do it, is to grade band so we can eliminate staff. It doesn't sound right, but that's the truth. So if we kept them in the other buildings, we would not be able to do that. We would not be able to balance our budget. So, you know, that's why this was presented tonight. Again, we did try the 14%. That was voted down. We would never do the 29%, but that would, you know, alleviate this for years to come. So we did a compromise budget of 7%, and nobody's happy. The board's not happy. You guys aren't happy. So, but this is where we are today. So.
But there's only two options. I mean, there's two entities that can close this budget gap, $6-point-something million. Either this board does it, or the Department of Education does it through the county office. So, you know, what we've at least done here is flushed out. If the board had to do it, what's the budget that is the least of all possible evils? And it's ugly, but this is a rough approximation of what that looks like. So, and that's, you know, pretty much what your acting superintendent has told you.
Okay. Does anybody else want to speak? If not, we'll go to second. Okay, go ahead.
My name is Robert DiPolito. I'm on Chelsea. I do have a daughter in the middle school. The tax problem is a little insane to me, as we're already paying the highest property taxes in the country almost in this state. We're twice the national average. It's insane to suggest that we have to keep shelling out money in taxes when the rest of the country does it with much, much less money per student. And even if you look at the calculations, Newark schools are getting, what, 10 grand more per student than we are? This is insane. We really need to fight the governor and the state. Because you can't keep bleeding us dry. We're getting killed on our payroll taxes by the state, and then we're going to get killed on the property taxes as well.
Can you actually do something for us? Can you write a letter to the governor? Because we all have, and we need the most support we can get. So we do try to fight the state, but we need the public to help us. So if you haven't done that, I would appreciate you calling. I've called to talk to the governor. I've sent an email. Of course, I haven't heard back, but if you can write a letter, I would appreciate
I'm sure he will ignore me as well.
There you go.
Yeah.
They know. They've been here. They've been here the past 3 meetings.
Okay,
Okay, anybody else for public comment? Anybody else like to come up to the podium? Go ahead. Yep.
Hi, I'm Marissa Maslin. I live on Maxim Drive in Forked River. I wasn't planning on speaking tonight, and although I have so many feelings as a parent and a teacher here, I just wanted to focus on one or two things. As far as I know, the Board of Education's responsibility is first and foremost doing what is in the best interest of the children in this community. I would also like to stress that I understand that so many people are fighting for the taxpayers, and I understand that burden because I also live here. So most of the teachers in this district, I shouldn't say most, but some, I don't know the number, also will feel the burden of the tax increase. But I can guarantee you that children trying to learn in classes of more than 30, where they're trying to learn to read and write and become good humans and figure out what they're going to do with the rest of their lives, will be struggling just as much, if not more. And it's our job as the adults in this community to stick up for them and figure it out for them, even if that means that we need to make a lifestyle change or figure something out. And I can also guarantee that teachers that have the tax increase and are teaching all of these children, 30 or more in a class, to be good humans and to keep our community in a good place, are struggling just as much. And I think a lot of people fighting for the taxpayers forget that, and I just wanted to remind everyone that they are also struggling, and the kids, first and foremost, shouldn't be the ones struggling. We should figure it out for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to speak before we move on to, go ahead, Richard.
Good evening. Richard Bidnick, Lacey Citizens for Responsible Government, board members, our town members. Lots of stuff said tonight, so I'm going to just go through my notes that I've heard. The individual who was a teacher there, she was talking about, you know, that she lives here, and a lot of the teachers do live here in this town from the research that I've done. You know what? You get a premium for the taxes.
Richard, can you address me? Not
Yes.
Thank you.
How come you don't tell anybody else to do that?
Well, you're supposed to be talking to me, not the public. If you
I'm actually looking at my notes, but
Okay,
whatever.
go ahead.
So basically, the individual that just spoke, who was a teacher, she basically forgets that her property taxes actually are giving her her job. They're giving her her benefits, her future pension. We don't get that. The rest of the citizens who don't work for the school district, which is the mass majority of the people who live in this town, do not get that premium on their taxes, unfortunately. You know, this is just a fact. I'm just telling you the truth, okay? So the next thing, Toms River voted down their budget again last night. And they are actually standing up for the taxpayers, and they're fighting the state. They refuse to give in like our board is planning on giving in tonight. They actually are strong. Our board is weak. And they certainly do not represent the taxpayers, I can tell you that. Today I had a long conversation with Susan Naples, who is the Ocean County Superintendent. I asked her about this thorough and efficient education. I asked her to show me the documentation that they have to follow, because it can't be arbitrary and capricious. Because Bordentown School District passed a budget where they're going to have more than 40 students in a classroom. They let more than 50 teachers go.
Excuse me.
Wait, don't interrupt me like you did the last time, please.
Go ahead. I'm going to let you finish your comment. You got 3 minutes.
Please.
Go ahead.
So anyway, I asked for the document. There is no such document that she could supply. So then she tried to pivot to this new formula that supposedly is coming out that you were told about the 29%. But then again, I said, is this a legislative piece of paper you can give? And she goes, no. She said, it's being done by the Department of Education. Again, another decision being made by a bureaucrat where the legislators do not have any say over it. It was quite questionable, actually. She was actually very nice and very thorough in her comments to me. She said, in no uncertain terms, that there is no plan right now where the state would be taking over the school districts. In fact, with all the pushback that's going on right now with all the school districts, that is highly unlikely, okay? Also, I asked her, you know, about the 3.15% budget that would have been legally allowed that was never presented to this public or the school board in a whole, and I find it really kind of odd that at the 14.25% budget that you wanted to put through, there are members that are on the finance committee that had to pass out of, and I can't understand that 2 of the members on that finance committee voted against it when it was on the floor, but they actually allowed it to even come out of a committee. Like, that should have been voted down right there. That was a waste of time. And it was all, to me, like a big scam, actually, to get us to the point where we're at right now, because we heard Mr. Zelensky say at that meeting, oh, I could live with a 7% budget. And here we are. There is no compromise. This is what I consider dishonesty. And you know, there's a word called corruption. And corruption leads with people in power who are dishonest. And I'm going to say this because the members of this body last year said they would never vote for an over amount again, like they did last year with the 9.9% tax increase. But that's exactly what individuals on this board did. And that is corruption, because you are lying and you are dishonest. And that isn't the first time that you've been dishonest. When you did the referendum, We were told we could not be given documentation, and we know why you didn't want us to have it, because some of those figures were so overinflated. And that's why it got voted down, because of your dishonesty, and the state actually giving us that documentation so we could supply it to the members of our community. You have lost all credibility. You are dishonest, and that there's no reason why anybody is going to believe anything that you say, because you've lost the ability as a body.
That's your time.
Yep, you can
Thank
come
you.
back up if
That's
you
your time.
want. Go ahead.
And
You know, I would like to address something.
I want to go first,
Okay,
honestly,
go ahead.
because, like, I've heard a lot of people in the community make their points from different angles and different perspectives. Believe me, I don't begrudge a single one of you the opportunity to come up here and speak about the factors that, you know, might be influencing what you would urge your elected officials to vote for or against, okay? But the personal attacks, they have to stop. You know, I said it last meeting, if there's one thing I stand for as a board attorney, it's standards in public discourse. You can get up there and call them names if you want. You have your freedom of speech. Nobody begrudges you that. I don't necessarily think the points that you make sometimes are all that unworthy of consideration. But the way you say things, when you attack people personally, they tend to turn off their ears. Let me say, the board is weak? How could the board be weak? They haven't voted on this final budget yet. They've done the legwork. They've done the due diligence to demonstrate the blood that would be on the floor if they had to close this budget gap themselves. That's called responsibility. We'll decide, you know, where we're at if we can't get this thing passed and the county office has to close the gap. We'll take a look at where we're at and we'll reassess. But public officials make decisions based on the information and the array of choices that are before them. When that information changes, when those choices change, it is responsible governance to reassess and reconsider your position. So nobody has the right to call anybody a liar or being dishonest. Certainly not corruption. That's ridiculous. I mean, corruption has
Let him finish.
is it
Can
a
you-
criminal statute? There's the elements of what corruption are, okay? If you think somebody's corrupt, go call the Attorney General. But I will tell you this. Nobody has the right to call anybody a liar for taking a position on a tax raise before the state changed the game. Okay, they make a new option available. Tax levy incentive program. Do you want to apply? Do you not want to apply? What, we're not supposed to consider that because somebody else might have said something before the circumstances were different? It's ridiculous. Be fair to your public officials who are volunteers, giving a lot of their time and taking a lot of heat for no pay. That's all I want to say.
All right, excuse me. I would like
And
to
I don't
address.
begrudge him his comment. No one does.
I would like to address, excuse me.
I begrudge anyone their personal attacks of this
Let's
board.
not go back and forth. Okay, Richard, there's two things that you said that I'd like to clarify. We did actually vote on the 3.15, and that was with the land sale, and that was denied. But you just said we didn't vote for the 3.15, and we did, hold on. And then the application, you said about it coming out of committee, it was an application, it wasn't to raise the taxes 14%, it was an application to raise up to 14%. So there was no reason why not to bring it out of committee, because we all have a vote, and they voted it down. So that's why it came out of committee. So that was it. Two things I just wanted to clarify that you stated that were not true. Okay, you can go. Go ahead.
My name is Tori Friday. I live on Brentwood Road in Forked River. Last year, I stood before you and asked you to consider a tax increase to help save our schools. 1 year later, and I'm here again. I don't know if it's too late. I don't know if we can still raise taxes even more than the proposed to save our schools again. I'm here not just as a teacher, but as a parent, an alumni, and a lifelong member of the community. I am deeply invested in the well-being of our children. I understand the concerns around raising taxes. We all feel the pressure of every dollar. Our children are the ones paying for the price of our underfunded schools. Larger class sizes, fewer teachers, limited resources, less transportation, and grade banding. Our district has nothing left to cut. Public schools are funded primarily through local taxes. This is how we get our funds. While I understand some may be looking out for their neighbors when it comes to a tax increase, I ask, what about our children? What about the long-term health of our community? Investing in our schools is investing in our future. Property values, safety, and an opportunity. A 7.75 increase isn't enough to stop the hurt that we are facing. We need to be bold and not cautious. Our students deserve better, and it's up to you to make the hard but necessary choices to provide it. I don't know if it's late, like I said. I don't know if we can still do something else for next year. But if we can, I urge you, to consider a higher tax increase. The loudest of the voices are not always the ones that speak for everyone. The ones that are not talking could also be the ones speaking for the children of this school district. I am a taxpayer. I do not get a premium, but I am always going to support a tax increase to help save our schools.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, that's it. I'm going to go back to, you can finish your comment. Yep, thank you.
All right, just to recap, Brandon Hurley, 219 Lenape, thank you again. All right, so last part, and then I promise it's done, right? The last concern I had was the growing gap in paraprofessional staffing. Budget cuts have already led to shortages with more to come, and we know with spreading these students to multiple campuses only increases the need for highly trained one-to-one aides and classroom support. Those are not optional supports. These are embedded in their child's IEPs, and the failure to staff appropriately opens the district to legal and ethical consequences, not to mention a very real danger with under-supervised children in crisis, which we know from recent instances in some townships with newly realigned schools led to serious injuries and in one case death. So I leave you with this. I came here tonight to make sure that our voice, the voice of a parent of autistic children, and the voices of those children who cannot speak for themselves are heard. I also came because I empathize with all of you as board members and the hard job you have and the difficult position you're put in. But I must remind you, we as the parents of autistic children do not have the luxury of routine. We cannot always attend last-minute meetings, and our lives revolve around structure that benefit our children, not for our convenience and certainly not for the district's. As this decision moves forward and the train leaves the station, I ask you to pause and consider two questions. Can you guarantee the same or better safety precautions for our children in these newly assigned schools, precautions that we've already invested in at Cedar Creek? If your answer is anything other than absolutely yes, then you have a moral and ethical duty to reevaluate your decision. Secondly, if you can guarantee that all services currently available at Cedar Creek, including therapies, trained therapists, caseworkers, case study teams, BCBAs, sensory diets, de-escalation areas, and one-to-one support will be immediately implemented or replicated to equal or greater quality at these other schools, if your answer is anything other than absolutely yes, then you must revisit your decision, because anything less is a disservice to our children and a violation to the legal rights of a safe and appropriate education. Lastly, in my home, we teach our children to speak up when something doesn't feel right. We teach our children to respectfully ask why when they don't understand or feel slighted. Tonight, I'm doing that on behalf of them. I'm asking you the hard questions. And while I know this will not change the decision, I am ensuring that you, as the decision makers, take a walk in my shoes. I speak on the behalf of my son and every other child in this district who depends on you not only to hear their needs, but protect them. Realigning the schools may serve the budgets, but those goals cannot come at the cost of safety, equity, and legality. And most importantly, it cannot come at the expense of the most vulnerable among us. Thank you.
Thank you. Just so you know, you're always welcome, anybody's welcome to call Mr. Zielinski and in the board office and address anything you would like to personally. Okay, so please do that. Okay. All right, now we're going to move on to board committee reports. No, we're moving on. Thank you. Ms. Walker, you did not have anything for curriculum. Mr. Bell, for policy?
Yes.
Did we cut? Did he need more time? Hold on. Hold on 1 second. Did you want to, you had more time? Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. Finish.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
No, I only got to point number 3.
Oh.
Okay, Richard Bidnick, Part 2. There's been about a $1.6 million figure that's been talking about that they in a piece of legislation. I want to know, if we get that, are you going to reduce the tax levy?
No, we would increase the staff for the children. We can't reduce it. I don't think we can. No, we can't. Too late.
Next.
Okay. Sad about the staff cuts. could have been avoided and everyone could have kept their jobs if the village had agreed to the wage cut I proposed. So now you'll have larger classes and more responsibility, but that was your choice. Parents, I feel for you. I feel for you on a lot of levels. You know, I feel terrible about the parents who are going to have to work another job now or take another part-time job because they're not going to be able to put the food on the table, pay their mortgages, pay the car payments. You know, this is what we call the disintegration of the American family, when parents can't be around to be able to be parenting. And I just saw the thing today with the police department, that children are going and robbing and shoplifting. I mean, I wonder if that has anything to do with the courtesy busing that was cut. These kids are walking home, and now they're going to these stores, and you know, and they're shoplifting. I mean, it's disgraceful, actually, what's going on. It really is. And the New Jersey, this is what I want to say to the parents too, because you have other choices, folks. You don't have to stay in the school district. There is a thing called the New Jersey School Choice Program, which you can apply for, get your child into, and the school district has to pay the tuition for your child to go to the school. And you can get out of this mess. And I just wanted to mention, too, that Central, which is the school district for Senator Armato, got an 18.5% increase in their state aid this year, and how convenient that happened to be. And thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to move on to. Can I say one thing? We're.
Are we done?
I mean, we're technically done, but go make it quick. Just don't yell at us again.
We got huge shoulders.
We
Yell
do.
as hard as you want.
I wanted to apologize. That's not me at my best calling any of you control freaks. That was what I wanted to say first. That's not who I am.
Thank you.
And I apologize. So it's hard. I've said this so many times. It's so hard for us as parents to be up here. And you know, your heart's pounding, your adrenaline is rushing like you guys too, but us being divided isn't what's going to win this thing. It's us coming together. And I feel like just cutting all that busing and showing all these, you know, crunches to the families is not going to unite anyone. It's going to pull everybody back further. It's going to make the division more. That's why I'm thinking maybe if we could go to Trenton, get buses, use that funding, you know, the buses, the courtesy busing, use that. If you guys came up here in the beginning of a board meeting and you were like, all right, here's what we're going to do, families. We got this plan. We're going to Trenton. How many are in? Can we raise this? Let's do a GoFundMe. Let's raise money and really go fight this. Like, I've been to Trenton before. I've told you guys before. We had so many people there with a specific bill that we actually made the inside of the walls shake when we sealed that deal that day. And we closed that bill where they were going to force vaccinations on our children. I was there for those 3 days. I was one of those people that had the pizzas thrown around, thousands of crowds. It was beautiful. But we can do that in Lacey. That's what I'm trying to say. But we need you guys to, like, get excited with us and do it with us. That's all.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Bell, take 3.
That's right. Thank you for the apology. I'm a weak person, but it helps. All right, Policy Committee. We had a meeting on May 7th, 4:15. It was myself, Mrs. Klaus, Jack Conity, and Mr. Zielinski. New policy regulations for review and/or discussion, student transportation, hazardous bus routes, discussion. Mr. Zielinski led the discussion of the method that we currently employ to designate hazardous routes for walkers to school. We currently, the current board approve all routes but do not note them as hazardous. We maintain a policy for transportation but do not name specific routes. Mr. Zielinski is going to do more research and we will discuss it at the next policy committee meeting. Public participation in board meetings revised. Mr. Zelinski led a discussion of possibly limiting the amount of time a person is allowed to speak if they come up for the second time. This will be discussed further at the next policy committee meeting. Acceptable use of generative artificial intelligence. Dr. Dowd presented the AI policy for the Lacey Township School District. This involved a lengthy discussion on AI to include history and the greatly expanded use of the platform. The policy will apply to K through 12 and will have very specific language for students and staff to utilize artificial intelligence in a safe and educational manner. Academic integrity revised. Mr. Zelinski spoke of this policy that was formerly titled plagiarism. The academic integrity policy will include all facts of the student's academic life, replacing the traditional definition of plagiarism, and will include a new section on artificial intelligence. Co-curricular, all postings will be filed at the June 16, 2025 board meeting after budget certification. Safety and security, no agenda items for discussion. LTASA, no agenda items for discussion. Other 25-26 budget discussion. The next meeting is Wednesday, June 11th at 4:15.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Conity, Finance, please.
Had a meeting on Monday at 4:10. Myself, Mrs. Klaus, Mr. Peters, Mr. Zelinski, and Ms. Ormsby discussed the middle school RTU ROD grant. The bids that we originally received were from 2023. The lowest one that we recently received was $44,000 higher. We're looking to see to move forward on that. That was for the units in the
Library and cafeteria.
library and cafeteria at the middle school. The survey update, discussion followed on that after status of it. 25-26 budget. Ms. Ormsby, Mr. Zelinski had a discussion on the budget. Discussion followed. Attorney RFP. Mr. Ormsby had a discussion on going out for an RFP for general counsel. Discussion followed on that. Demographic study. Ms. Ormsby had a discussion on the study and that we should have the complete study in 2 to 3 weeks. Hopping on food services or curriculum. HR, the acting superintendent contract. Ms. Ormsby had a discussion on that. Security, nothing. Technology, nothing. Transportation, Seabreeze Cares Committee is doing a stuffed bus on Sunday, the 27th of July. There's a resolution on tonight for them to hire a bus. I don't know if Mr. Martin's still here, but
Yep.
thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Martin. And Lacey Recreation for use of school buses throughout summer. Ms. Ormsby had a discussion on that, and that will also be on tonight's agenda. Use of facilities, reviewed them. Professional development, nothing to report there. Next meeting's on Thursday, the 12th of June. And that was it.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to superintendent comment, please.
Just kind of a recap on, of course, the big elephant in the room with the budget. This budget is still a compromise solution. It certainly falls short of what is truly needed, and we will face the same financial issues next year. There's no doubt about that. That is truth. We can't expect positive outcomes and keep reducing staff, that's for sure. And increased class sizes are a growing concern of all of ours. We've done the best with this to align educational priorities with our fiscal constraints. It's not ideal, but we will carefully plan it out. I can assure you of that. This budget will preserve core instruction. It will preserve special education students being with their age level peers. We'll certainly have some conversation about how that looks. moving forward. And our co-curricular activities are reinstated because they are, of course, vital to student development. I think one of the parents came up and spoke about that. I've advocated for more funding. I've advocated with the state. I've advocated for our local board. I've advocated with our local parents. It just wasn't approved. This budget, you've heard my comments on this budget. Got to work together. We've got to have long-term solutions for this recurring budget shortfall. Okay, we need a roadmap. This may provide us with a roadmap if it passes. If it doesn't pass, we'll just take the next steps. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, now we're going to move on to board member comments, and let's start with Mr. Peters.
Thank you, Board President Klaus. It's a tough one tonight. I usually come from the heart, but I had to write this one down so I don't want to forget anything. Full moons, Halloween, the first day back from Easter break, a special needs student having a meltdown, a special needs student having a meltdown in a mainstream classroom, first day back from Christmas break, the first day back from Thanksgiving, the day before Christmas break, the day before Easter break, the day after school, the last day of school, birthdays, death of a family member, a student's mom and dad having an argument the night before, losing a football game, losing a tennis match, failing a test, coming to school the following day feeling bad about yourself for forgetting you had a homework assignment to turn in. These are all tribulations of what a school teacher goes through. And how, in God's name, can you go through it every day, 180 days a year, with 35 students to 40 students in your classroom? Every day would be a day like having a student having a meltdown in that classroom. We would burn teachers out so fast having that number of students in their classroom. I've been involved in education for 24 years. I've worked with special needs students. I've worked with the regular population. There is no possible way that a classroom with that amount of students are going to be able to give a fair and thorough education. I'm on the Finance Committee. Since day one, I've been asking, is there any possible way that we can make cuts to staff? And each and every time I was told no, that we cannot offer a thorough education if we cut staff. And now we're looking to cut 27 people. I'm a no on this vote tonight. Not because there's somebody standing over there, nothing to do with him whatsoever. This is all my research. If you look at my recent call list, and I'll screenshot it and send it and email it to everybody, it's to Carmen Amato, it's to Christopher Connors, and it's to school board members in Toms River Township. A lot of board members that are here tonight are scared what's going to happen if we vote this down tonight. It's a fear tactic I feel from the state of New Jersey coming in and saying, hey, go back and vote again. And when we ask the question, and we ask the county superintendent, and we ask the county BA, what happens if this budget doesn't pass tonight? And their reply to us is, it's not good. It's not good. We never got a solid answer. So unfortunately tonight, I mean, I don't know how the crowd goes, I don't really care. I have more power up here than at that microphone. And people get up there and say it, they don't know what they're talking about. All right? I am no tonight. To the people that get up there and said, this falls on us, you're right. But one person mentioned Murphy. One person mentioned Murphy. He's the one that came after this Republican town and cut us. And there's a gentleman named John Pinto that printed out a spreadsheet that showed the difference of what Republican towns and Democratic towns got and how that man came in here and gouged this town. When you leave here tonight, do me a favor. Go to Siri and ask what the student ratio is in Newark. And they'll tell you 17 to 21 students. Go to Siri and ask how much money they got, funding they got last year. $1.5 billion. And we lost 14. I'm standing up. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Bell, do you have a comment tonight?
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to start by saying that I may have said last year that I was not for a tax increase. It's been pointed out that when we're given new information or new scenarios arise, it's good to look at it and then make another decision. We keep hearing about other towns, what's going on, even across the country. The taxes aren't as high. One of the things I love about America is if I don't like where I live, I can move. And so there's always that option. I happen to like where I live, and so I'm going to stay. I like our town. I like my house. I like my neighbors. I don't like my taxes, but I don't think anybody does. I've been called a liar because I said something last year with different information. And so if you feel that I'm a liar, I apologize for that. July is coming. Get your name in. Get your petition signed. I'll give up my seat.
Yeah, you got more time left.
Thanks, Jack. But I've enjoyed serving with the crew that I serve with. I can tell you each of their heart, nobody's out to do any harm to the children whatsoever. And Mr. Zielinski, I've said this before, you couldn't pay me to take his job. Watching him put things together, pull things apart, put things back together, even when he had a plan and the board shut him down, he didn't quit, didn't back down, just jumped back in. And so I appreciate the crew that I serve with up here. I kind of look at it as for the kids. There's two parents. One is our district, the other is the state. As a pastor, I deal with families. And when you have a parent that won't do its job, the other parent has to overcompensate. And that's kind of the way I look at it is if the state's not going to do their job, we as a district have to step up and overcompensate. And so I have to be able to sleep at night, and so I do. I was encouraged after the last meeting to talk to God and apologize to him. Mr. Bidnick, I want you to know, God and I have had several conversations since then, and so we're good. But I do. I come to this microphone literally asking the Lord to give me peace about what I'm supposed to do. I'm not all-knowing, but he is. And he's given me peace that it's okay to vote yes on this budget. And so that's what I'll be voting.
Thank you. Okay. Mrs. Walker.
Okay, I had a whole thing written out and like it all went out the window tonight. I have to read something. I know everybody's calmed down a little bit right now, but I just want to read something that Mr. Was it Furides? Brian, the one who came about Rutgers University and the money. I don't see him here tonight,
No, he's
but.
not.
Oh, okay. But he sent me something, he sent us all this email, and there's a quote in here from Murphy. I just want to, with this funding, we are not merely investing in the success of our state students, Murphy said. We are also helping every working parent save more of their money. Because every additional dollar the state spends on public education is a dollar our families get to save in property taxes. And I'm like, what? Yeah, really, you're absolutely right. I came with the intention of voting yes tonight as well. Dan and I were trying to go get our homework done, but we were told, no, I'm only kidding. But I have a couple of questions. One, what would we need as far as increasing the budget to not realign our students?
Do you know, Sharon?
Do you have that
What,
number?
like what
off?
percentage we would need to not realign? 10, 12? 10%.
10%.
Instead of the 7.57?
Yeah.
So 10 instead of 7.
Mhm.
And if we don't vote on this budget tonight, we're in the hands of the state?
Hands of the state. Mhm.
Okay.
And they decide.
Right, like Tom's River did. They voted
no.
Right.
They're
Um,
in a little different situation.
They
have a
are, and I
lawsuit
talked to the
going.
VA
Yeah.
today.
But the
and-
lawsuit has nothing to do with that.
Pardon me?
People keep saying that they're in a different situation because they have a lawsuit. It has nothing to, it's apples and oranges, it has nothing to do with it. Her budget and the lawsuit are two totally
Yeah, but
separate
I
things.
think,
We
my
think.
point is that I think they're going to give them a heavier hand because they're suing. So I don't know what the repercussions are, that's all.
All right, well, back to my comment.
Nothing to do with the other.
And last year, we did have quite a group of people right in front of me. Number one, that went to Trenton. So they know Lacey, they know, and I think, keep it up. I think it's a great idea, I really do. So in good conscience, I want to vote yes on this budget, and I will, but I have a real hard time voting yes when I know this realignment is in the works. Is there any chance we could get a group together and try and put this back to where it should be, Mr. Zelinski?
Your problem,
there-
your problem right now is you've applied for less money for the state incentive program. So it's very unlikely, and I think we've asked that question, is there a chance to amend that? And we were told no, because that's how you're getting the higher tax increase over the 3.15. So that, so to speak, that ship has sailed. I presented you guys with higher amounts, if you
Right.
remember.
Yeah.
The 9.9 actually is where it was, did stop the realignment, because that would have added 1.1 million back into the budget at that stage of the game. So you're, again, which has driven my blood pressure up, you'll drive us into the unknowns. If the board was so to think about saying, no, we want more money to avoid realignments. You know, you'd have to get 4 memberships here to go that route right now. It's dangerous like everything else we've done this year, by not meeting deadlines, meeting, things that we're supposed to have done, which we didn't do, because the state's put us in this position as well, to some respects. Again, I just don't know. The path that we've taken right now, with a couple of people have said it, through a lot of hard work, is this path. Can we change that path next year? Certainly. There's roadmaps to the future. This could be one of them. It might not be one of them. But without additional funding, this is the current path that we're taking. Could the 1.6 million, if they had funded us 100% and not capped us at 6%, contribute to adding those 11 teachers or so back into the mix? Yes. Is it difficult? Yes. Is it extremely difficult? Yes, because it's after the fact. We've known the state not to give us back money until like October, November. If they're going to give us some emergency aids, it's got to be spent on one-time purchases, like they put rules behind it. So you're driving me into like a lot of knowns, and I'm probably rambling a little bit.
That's right.
So if you're asking advice, you're taking chances not doing what we've set to do tonight. But again, I'm not a voting member of this board.
So you're saying there's no way we can make a motion to go to 10%?
I think what he's saying is that the opportunity to exceed the 2% tax levy cap was part and parcel of the option, that the legislative option, made available through the tax levy incentive program. And with our application to exceed 2% already in at 7.75%.
Correct.
There's,
There's little to no chance they're going to allow us to up that number,
Right.
even if we did vote that way tonight.
Right, and if we did, don't we run the risk that somebody says, you never applied to exceed that, so.
There's a risk in all this.
There's risk in all this, yes.
Okay.
And your conversations with Amato?
Hopeful that that they'll pass the bill, but it's kind of stalled.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
they are fighting. I mean, they're doing what they can, but,
Right.
it's a Republican, the Republicans are getting hit hard, all the towns. You can look it up. Unfortunately, we're getting hit you know, just all of Ocean County is getting hit,
Yeah.
so.
So I came here tonight with that I was voting yes for the 7%, and I'm going to stick with that. But I do want somehow, some way to look at that alignment very closely to see if we can get rid of that.
I'll burst your bubble now, not in the 7.57, it is impossible. It would be impossible to avoid the realignment of schools with the 7.57.
But if we get more money?
If we get more money, we will always use that money judiciously and in timely manners, absolutely.
Okay, all right.
If we want to make that a priority, we can talk about that. I will say that we've done some work that I know there's a lot of sentiment that it's not good, but there are many, many districts that make it work very well. So we're not doing it blindly, so to speak.
I guess as a former first grade teacher of
You have struggled with it
25 years,
certainly.
I'm struggling with this,
You
yeah.
know,
because-
kindergarten has certainly proved that it works well. So we're hoping to continue that. And remember, those kids, it's what they're used to. Kindergarten moving out to Cedar Creek, it will also return their specials. It will return things to them as well, this grade banding, that they rallied for when we originally put them in Mill Pond. So there are some benefits to it as well. Class sizes are another issue, of course.
Yeah, well, and just having families go to different schools, you know,
Yeah.
3 or 4 different schools.
Certainly a challenge,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
I'm sorry, Kim.
That's why we asked for more money.
Guys, public comment is over. This is board comments.
Okay, Lynn, are you done? Okay, so.
I rambled,
Thank you, I'm sorry.
No,
Certainly, talk to me all.
All right, yeah, thank you. I'm hoping it passes tonight.
You forgot, Jack.
Oh, Jack, and Jack.
Take the third month in a row.
You know what? It's because I'm going this way now.
Okay.
All right, go ahead. I even wrote it down.
You know, the whole grade banding thing doesn't affect my kids in the district. Out of my dozen to 18 nieces and nephews, it affects them big time. I voted yes 2 weeks ago to try to hide some time to work on this to figure it out. Really, nothing's changed. It's not the answer, unfortunately. Mr. Zelensky, staff, Ms. Ormsby, you guys have been killing yourselves over this for the last 4 months. This isn't it. To have my brother and sister-in-law make 3 different stops at 3 different schools at 3 different times, but oh, by the way, she still has to be to work at 8:30. I'm sure there's plenty of others. So, that's it.
Okay. So it seems like it's not going to pass tonight, but I'm wondering from the board if we can even do this if it doesn't pass. Now we're in the state's hands. But would the board be willing to advocate then for a higher tax increase, maybe 10%, because we're not getting any more funding? So
It's
if
more
that's,
than just a tax increase.
well, it's the only place we can go.
I
So,
understand that, but it's more than just a tax increase.
like
You-
what?
You could throw money at anything that you want.
Right, but there's only
But we
two
all
ways.
know that if we do 10% this year, it's still going to be another 14 to 19% next year to get us to the 29 that they want us at. It's not right.
Yeah. I'm
not
not saying
right.
it's right. I'm not saying it's right, but for us to educate the kids the way everybody wants us to. We have 2 sources of income, like I said. We have taxes and we have grants. So I'm asking the board, would you guys, it's going to get voted down, obviously, but would you guys be willing, if we could advocate, if they're going to set the tax rate now, because they're the ones that are going to submit the tax rate to the town, not us, would you be willing to go to 10% so we can get these kids in one school until 5th grade?
I would.
You would?
This is a twofold thing. It's keep throwing money and putting Band-Aids on it, but come next year, we're going to be sitting here again.
We will
having
be.
the same conversation.
Yeah.
I may not be. Everybody else here will be. You know, and
I'm not
No.
saying we won't be here. I know we will be here because the state is saying we're
No, I may
underfunded
not be.
20 million. Oh. Well,
Come December
I have one more year
31st, I
after
may
that,
be
so.
it. But it's-
So if everybody wants to keep their kids in one class, if the board wants their kids to stay in one school rather, not class, I'm asking if you guys would be willing to advocate for a higher tax rate since we are not choosing the tax rate now. That's all I'm asking. So, and I know we will be here again next year because we didn't reach that 29%. So,
If you're asking for a vote,
no, I'm not asking for a vote. We're not
because
voting. We're not
The
voting
state should be
tonight.
giving us,
Well, we're voting
what
tonight.
they should be giving us per
I'm not
kid.
saying the increase. I'm saying, keep it in mind. If this is what you guys want, then, we need to advocate for that also.
And fight and track.
Always, yes. Okay, we're going to move on. All right, new business. Page 2, A1, meeting minutes. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second, Peters.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peters,
Yes.
I think you have to abstain on a few.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got it right here. You do abstain on the minutes, special meeting, 1 and 2, regular meeting minutes, executive sessions, 4/17/25, and OCVTS,
Nope, not that one. yet.
21, oh, I'm sorry,
Thank you.
the first one, thank you.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Did you see Mrs. Wolf?
Yes.
Yes, but I have to abstain on the regular and executive session on April 17th due to absence.
Thank you. Mr. Conity?
Yes.
And Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 2, A2, list of bills. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, but I need to abstain on A2 OCVTS 211210.
Thank you. Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, but I have to abstain on Bill 949936 due to conflict, yes.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Mr. Conity?
Yes, but I need to recuse on my employer 289299 and 283300.
Thank you. Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 2 and 3, A3 to 4, transfers. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 3 to 5, A5, adoption of the 2025-26 school year budget. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll move it.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peters?
No.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
No.
And Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 5 through 8, A6 to 11, finance and facilities. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 8 and 9, A12 to A17, student tuition and transportation. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion, Peters?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
And Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 8 and 9, A18 and 19, policies and regulations. Can I have a motion?
I'll move.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
And Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 10, A20 to 21, Hibbs. Can I have a motion?
Motion, Peters?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
And Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 10, donations. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion, Peters, and thank you.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Peters?
Yes, quick question. Which LED scoreboard is that from the boosters?
It's soccer.
The new soccer board?
Yes.
Thank you so much. That was for $10,000, folks. Thank you. Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes, and thank you.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes, and thank you. Came to a total of $14,719.59 worth of donations. Thank you so much.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes, and thank you. Page 11, C1 to C3, Programs and Curriculum. Can I have a motion, please?
Move.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 11 to 13, D1 to D6, Certificated Personnel. Can I have a motion?
Move.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Peters?
Motion, please.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes, and Dr. Purpura, thank you so much.
Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Page 13 to 15, E1 to 4, Non-Certificated Personnel. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Peters?
Yes.
Mr. Bell?
Yes.
Mrs. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Conity?
Yes.
And Mrs. Claus?
Yes. Okay, so now we'll just wait for guidance from the state, and we'll just pivot if we have to, and we'll move on. Motion to adjourn.
Motion Peters.
Can I have a second? It didn't pass. Didn't pass. Second. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Sorry.